Hi guys, I hope you're well. I hope your families are doing well. I thought I'd make a really chilled out video today. So it's something fun, so I've made myself, a cup of tea. Chances are you're working from home. You're dealing with the times we're in, very unusual times in our lifetimes. And you're at home, you might have kids. And if you're like me, your kids are screaming all the time. And I'm really trying my best to be patient, whilst also trying to think about my future and chat with my wife and have some fun, okay? Today's video, I thought, this came out of a conversation we're having at home actually about, in these times, most people, in times of kind of trouble and, uncertainty, most people are typically thinking about cutting their costs and kind of, running for the hills. But I think it's actually a really good time. This particular time is actually a really good time to reflect and ask yourself this question, which is, how can I progress in these uncertain times, okay? So today I thought I'd make a fun video about how to invest £100 per month in order to improve your life. It could be into a work from home idea, it could be into some experiences, it could be into, the typical investments that we're all used to. But £100, and this was an interesting challenge for us. In fact, I even posed this question to a few of my friends, and many people struggled to come up with an idea. So I'm going to suggest that as you're watching this video, you join me in thinking of £100 ideas, things you could invest £100 in order to improve your life now and in the near future. My name's Ken of the Humble Penny and Financial Joy Academy. What we do on this channel is to give you the tips, the insights, the practical hacks to help you work towards a dream life of financial independence and money joy. Given financial independence is a long-term goal, it's very important that we keep that in perspective if this is something you are aiming for in the future. As I've mentioned in numerous videos, there will be natural ups and downs in our lives as we're aiming for all kinds of goals, whether it's financial goals or whether it's other types of life goals, okay? So join me, make yourself a cup of tea and just chill out. Let's just talk about these ideas. And if you come up with any ideas for how you think you'd invest £100 per month into something that would improve your life, please drop them in the comments. And if you enjoy this video as you watch it, don't forget to like, okay? Let's dive in now and explore these ideas for £100 per month, how I would invest £100 per month. The first idea in my mind is, naturally when you think invest, you think the stock market. So let me get that one out of the way. So I would personally invest £100 per month in a globally diversified fund, okay? There are many platforms you can go to, but I'm going to just pick one. I looked at one just before I came on here, right? I went to a platform that I use, Vanguard. I use other platforms, by the way, and you can use other platforms such as Hargreaves Lansdown or the Share Center, what have you, okay? Now, I went on this platform, I filtered by what they offered, and I looked at globally focused funds. And surprise, surprise, they have many funds that you can invest in for a minimum of £100 per month. One of them I picked out, for example, was focused on tracking the FTSE All World Index, okay? And if you invested in that fund with £100 per month, it will give you access to 3,365 stocks that you have investments in, i.e. you have bits invested in those various companies, ultimately by investing in that fund, which is tracking that particular index. And interestingly, the split in terms of where your money goes is 57.8% of it goes to North America, over 18% to Europe, a bunch to the Pacific, about 10% to the emerging markets, and so on. And you get access to companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google, what have you, okay? So for £100 per month, which seems like quite a small amount of money, or at least I feel is the amount of money that most families can think about investing in themselves, you can get access to investing globally in a diversified way, especially in a time like now when the stock market is at historical lows. You can actually go in and invest a small amount of money, like £100 per month. Again, obviously do this according to your family budget, and let that work for you and hopefully generate some interesting returns for you in the very near future, because you're buying in very low. This is also an interesting idea if you're somebody who's new to investing and you're somewhat petrified about investing in the stock market, even though many people tell you it's a good time to consider doing it. Starting off very low at £100 per month is a good way to kind of ease your way in before you kind of throw your life savings in, which I don't recommend, by the way. You should take your time, do it according to your levels of comfort and your levels of risk appetite, and enjoy the process of learning how to invest your money through the stock market. Okay, so the second idea I'll offer you guys is to invest in meaningful membership experiences, okay? So what do I mean by this? I've got two areas specifically I wanted to mention. So I'm a fan of books. I read lots of books in my actual house, which is over there. I have a ton of bookshelves, and books for me is something that's transformed my life in a way that's very difficult to quantify, okay? It's improved my life vastly. If I had £100 per month, I would be looking to maybe sign up to an Audible subscription or a membership, okay? And the reason for that is you get access to a ton of books, but via audio, okay? In a time when most people are sat at home, you know, working from home and doing homeschooling and what have you, having a book playing in the background is a very good idea, okay? Because those ideas are kind of getting into your mind and getting you conditioned properly in order to think about your future goals in your life and to take action to do other things. It's very cheap, actually. I think Audible is only $7.99 or something to that effect. I'll put a link to it below for you to check out if you've never been on that website before. The second thing I'd recommend when it comes to memberships is for you to think about somebody who you find inspiring in your life. It could be somebody who you maybe follow online, it could be somebody who you follow offline, whatever. Somebody who you admire, okay? These days, an alternative way to getting coaching from somebody is for you to join their online program. It could be a course, it could be a membership program, it could be anything, okay? Find that person, but don't just join. What I'd recommend to you is identify a very specific skill set you would love to learn from that person, okay? And the fastest way to get that answer is to go to that person directly. Rather than paying thousands and thousands of pounds to join somebody's coaching program for a one-off experience, you could join their membership program because you can learn from them on an ongoing basis. So the action points here are find somebody you like, somebody who inspires you, online or offline. Check if they've got a kind of monthly membership program. And a lot of them are quite cheap and can vary anything between, say, I don't know, £10 per month to maybe £50 per month. Find one of those, but your goal is to make sure this is an investment into preparing you for the future, learning a particular skill set that will help you maybe future-proof your household or give you alternative options to the skill sets you have at the moment. Now, the third thing requires some imagination, and it's to invest in meaningful experiences, okay? Now, this particular idea could actually improve your life in ways you can't even quantify. It could improve your relationships, your marriage, your, I don't know, whatever you've got, the partner. It could improve that vastly, okay? Now, the idea here is to use your £100 per month to seek out two things. This is what I personally recommend. You can go and obviously find other ideas, but the first one is to get yourself a cleaner, right? Now, I'm mentioning this because you're probably thinking, wait, Ken, you're asking me to spend money. Well, in actual fact, if you're somebody, I'll give you an example. I pay £10 per hour for my cleaning, okay? Somebody shows up and they help us out, you know, because we're a busy family, we've got entrepreneurial things, work, children, and we need help, right? So, but here's how we justify the cost of our £10 per hour, right? Now, my 1 hour is worth way more than £10 per hour. That's kind of how I look at it. In fact, it's worth multiples of £10, okay? And so I think to myself, I could spend 1 hour and make, I don't know, a few £100, right? Whereas I could also spend that 1 hour cleaning my home. Okay, now, as therapeutic as cleaning is, and I do it most of the time, I often like to outsource that aspect of my life to somebody else to help out, whilst I focus and use my time to do other things, okay? So this is a mindset thing, you know, it's not for everybody, but I would put it out there. You should essentially consider how you're using your time and what's your time worth and what should you instead be committing your time to. The second idea in this particular area of meaningful experiences is to get yourself a part-time chef. This is something we are currently looking at very proactively. Now, obviously, the current climate with people at home, you might not be able to do that just yet until obviously people can start to visit people's homes and so on. But this is something to think about for the very near future, if it's something you want to explore. I'll give you an example. A friend of mine already does this, which is why it's an interesting idea for us that we're exploring. He's got an Italian chef, okay? He loves Italian food, and I think he pays between 15 and 20 pounds per hour. Now, with £100, you essentially have anything between, at least 5 hours potentially per month for somebody to come in and cook for you amazing meals, right? And what you do, they come in, they might cook for say 2 hours in one go, and they batch cook, and you then take that food and kind of, put them away in nice casserole dishes or whatever you've got, packages, and essentially freeze them. And these will become meals that you can eat over a period of time. You could have somebody come in twice a month, coming in for 2.5 hours in the first 2 weeks, and then 2.5 hours in the second 2 weeks, and all you're paying for that is at the most £100 per month. Now, this is an idea worth considering, but I think it's a really good way to kind of outsource a bit of your, some of the things that you spend a lot of time doing, in order for you to then spend that time either with your partner or either pursuing an interesting side hustle idea or something interesting enough that will generate way more money for you than £100 per month. The next one I'd mention is, and this is very unusual, but I'll mention it anyway because I think it's really interesting, is that I will spend my £100 per month getting the fastest possible internet speed that I can get, okay? Now, why am I even saying that? We're living in very interesting times where a ton more people are at home or working from home and pursuing work from home ideas, okay? What I would do is invest in the fastest possible internet speed because it gives you the option to pursue a side hustle idea. Like, for example, I'm here making videos on a YouTube channel. This piece of content can live either on YouTube and live on other platforms. Like, for example, I might use my videos on a platform like Vimeo, for example, which I do, by the way, or on other platforms like Udemy, okay? And that's because I've created this content once and I can port it across different places, okay? Internet speeds are absolutely critical for upload speeds, for research, for all kinds of things that you can do online, okay? So £100 per month goes a very long way towards improving that experience, whether it's downloading stuff, uploading stuff, or starting something that means that you're essentially using the internet, but you need that speed to kind of move you along a lot faster. The next idea is that I would invest £100 per month in a hydroponics kit. Now, this is going to sound really strange, right? But I Googled hydroponic systems and it gets something like 40,500 searches per month on the internet. And that's because if you don't know what hydroponics are, essentially these are systems or kits that allow you to grow plants, vegetables and things at home, okay? Now, this is an interesting idea because if you're somebody who is based at home or working from home or what have you, this idea would not only help you kind of grow some vegetables and things at home, but it could also be quite interesting for growing things that you might potentially sell, okay? And, this is a slightly out there idea, but now I don't know if you've come across a particular plant known as the Swiss cheese plant. Now, if you've been watching YouTube, you by no means have seen these plants. They're very popular with lots of YouTubers. Unfortunately, I'm not as trendy. I haven't got a Swiss cheese plant in my studio at the minute. But the reason I raise this is because this whole idea of hydroponics or even buying seeds and planting seeds could be quite interesting, not only for kind of growing your own vegetables and herbs and things like that at home, but for also exploring ideas of growing particular plants that you can then look to potentially sell in the very near future. A Swiss cheese plant is an example that I put out there because it's very popular and it's in high demand, okay? You can easily buy these seeds at IKEA and places like that. And hydroponic systems, I'll put a few of them up on the screen for you to see. Places like Seed Pantry, IKEA, as I mentioned before, Amazon have different kits that they are selling that you can absolutely check out and order online. I'll put links to those below. If you're interested, feel free to check them out. And I think it's a really good thing to kind of explore, a good way to kind of learn something new, planting things at home, either for home use or potentially things that you can sell in the very near future. Okay, so the next thing I'd spend £100 per month on is to buy myself some hosting. Okay, now this is going to sound stupidly strange, right? Why the hell would you be buying hosting? Now, if you're at home now, you've got nothing doing, I highly recommend exploring the idea of pursuing an online business idea. Now, hosting is highly relevant because it's very important for you to own a piece of the internet. No matter how small your piece is or how relevant or irrelevant it might be at the very beginning. Those things give you a voice of your own, a platform where you can share your own ideas, explore your own creativity, that sort of stuff. £100 per month goes a very long way. In fact, it's way much more money than you need to buy yourself 1 year of hosting. I mean, you can buy hosting for as little as something like £3 or £4 per month in order for you to start your own website, start to explore some of that creativity that you might not think you've got, but start to build something that is your own and that might be able to generate you some form of an income in the near future. I'll put a link below and above to some suggestions for you to check out to grab a free domain, but for you to then pay for your hosting if you're somebody who's thinking about spending £100 per month on something. Now, you will obviously have a lot more money left over if you've got £100 per month to invest. So these ideas are not just for you to spend on one thing. You might say, for example, invest, say, in hosting for a new website, and then take the rest of the money to invest in some equipment or some kits to help you towards getting that venture off the ground. And the final idea I've got is to invest in kits for freedom. Okay, what do I mean by this? Now, I never ever thought in my life that I would be somebody who would be sitting at home, using this space, which used to be my shed, to actually start to use that to create some content, which then goes out to people like you. And that by doing that, that gives you some inspiration, some ideas. And by you watching that content, I generate some income. I never ever thought that would happen. So my suggestion here is, if you have £100 per month, is to use that to invest in things that have the potential to generate you some extra income, that gives you the potential to create quality bits of content that people can, consume. And by doing that, you can generate some income. So for example, with £100 per month, first thing I'd buy is a decent microphone, okay? I can share a link to a post I did called Meaningful Gift Ideas for the Current Year, okay? I'll put a link to it below and above. That link has a list of a bunch of gift ideas, meaningful gift ideas I think you should explore. And in that section, you see bits on various kits that we currently use that are quite affordable for somebody who only has £100 per month. Another thing I'd spend that money on would be to buy a really decent tripod, okay? For with £100 a month, you can buy your microphone as well as your tripod, and then perhaps over the next coming month or two, spend that bit of money on purchasing some lighting and use your phone to start, and then maybe as time passes, maybe invest in a fairly decent camera, which can cost you a few £100s. The one we use, for example, only cost us, I think, £485. And as you can see, it's working perfectly. I'm able to deliver my videos and I'm able to generate an extra income from the comfort of my home without ever going anywhere. Now, isn't that a great idea? I think it's a really good idea. If you're somebody who's not comfortable in front of the camera, I would say to you that it's very, very important that you practice the skill set that you want to develop. So if you want to be good at the camera, stand in front of the camera, practice at home and gradually start to build your confidence. And before you know it, you might start to explore these ideas, which will be not only good for a platform like YouTube, but you can use these skills to create your own online course, for example. You can use these skills to offer people some virtual coaching, what have you. These skills can be transferred to various other ideas that you can explore from home. I'd be super keen actually to know from you what you would do with £100 per month. What would you invest in? What would you put that money into? Please let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to jump in there and actually see what ideas that you come up with and the ideas that other people in the community come up with. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button because it helps to encourage other people to engage with our video and also watch them too, okay? If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you get notified when we publish content twice a week, on a Tuesday as well as a Thursday. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you look after yourselves, look after your families, and remember to stay positive in these times, okay? Have some fun at home. Find some interesting, creative things to do. Focus on doing some decluttering if you have some time on your hands. Focus on reading books. focus on grabbing some of the ideas I mentioned and exploring those for as little as £100 per month. Okay? Take care, and I look forward to seeing you again on our next video. Bye for now. Is that I will spend my £100 per month getting the fastest, I cannot say the word. I googled, what was it I googled? Okay. I googled hydroponic systems, and hold on. I don't know if you've come across a particular plant known as I think it's called the Swiss cheese plant. Let me just make sure.